Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, the podcast. Check the guys out live weekday mornings from 6 to 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
I mean, the Eagles are good.
Hey, how you doing, Max?
You didn't wait for you to respond.
I'm excited about what just happened. We have to stop down for 2 minutes now to say good morning. I said good morning. Morning, Max.
He didn't even say hi, though, Max. He was working last night, riding away. Oh, prime
Me
time.
and Boomer and
Semantics.
me, Boomer, and Booger.
Which
No, it was good. It was good. I felt fine. Watching the game better.
Second one, at least. I mean,
It just depends on what you like. If you like the Eagles, then that game obviously is. It was fun to watch.
unless you're Pat Costello.
listen, we're going to get
Planning about every call.
to the Eagles because you got to start, there's a lot to say. The Eagles been really, when they're healthy, the best team in football, wire to wire, when they're healthy. But then it really points to Jalen Hurts because now him is looking way different. And with him, to be honest, it's like one of the most dominant teams I've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
That's all. That's saying
You don't
a lot.
have to fight, you know.
We can get to all that, guys.
Good point.
Look, the Chiefs connected last night. You didn't have to even have a hooligan in that game for it to tell. I mean, it came down to the wire. The whole team.
I think we could both do with a breather, don't you?
What do you take away from it?
I guess.
From the Eagles, maybe Chiefs. I mean, it was a good hard-fought game. Obviously, couldn't take it all the way down to regulation. They were back and forth. Patrick Mahomes got it out. Coming up to get it Super Bowl for 2 weeks. His ankle was such a major issue, as we can tell. And they were down.
Another
A
Partha.
couple receivers.
A common find.
You think about guys getting hurt in the course of the game. All of a sudden, Skylar Moore's playing wide receiver. Who's a guy who's a return specialist. All of a sudden, he was forced into the lineup.
It's my lucky day.
I think the big thing that stood out the game to me is guys like Chris Jones showed up. And that's why you pay guys like Chris Jones. I mean, they harassed Joe Burrow for everything that went on in the game in Buffalo. Protection problems that we thought they was going to have in Buffalo, they didn't have. Defense in Buffalo didn't get after him when they needed to. But that was
Will you be careful?
Here in Kansas City, this defense, they needed to show up, Jay. They showed up, whether it was Frank Clark harassing or whether it was flushing him out of the pocket and getting him on the ground.
So
Can you hear me, Frank?
I'm going to zoom out, expand the image a little bit on a macro perspective. One, whether you want to call it Burrowhead, whether you want the Cincinnati mayor to talk about maybe Patrick Mahomes should take an attorney test to see if Joe Burrow is his dad. Yeah, that really did happen. That's something. Regardless whether it's manufactured or not, people factor that stuff into the equation when you get a win like this. And secondly, as it relates to this matchup, I mean, the Chiefs aren't going anywhere, guys. They got a first, they got a second, they got a third, they got 2 fourths, they got a 6th pick. I mean, this is going to be the core of this game. It's going to be around for a while. So when you think about quarterback matchup, either you have an elite quarterback in the AFC, either you have Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
May not be able to protect you as well as I usually do.
Great. That's all I
And
need.
these guys yesterday, whether the hobbled ankle, whether the whole line being depleted, guys being out, they carry their team. They carry their team. And then when I'm looking at guys like Dak, right, who they get 12 wins, but they can't carry the load of their particular teams. It's just such a difference between the way I look at the AFC and the way I look at the NFC is where it's related to quarterback.
We can get it. It goes back to Eagles-Niners, right? Can you win with a non-Superman quarterback? Right? Maybe you can. The odds are against you. We're going to get to all that. Right now, guys, Patrick Mahomes is going to his third Super Bowl in 5 years. Everyone's
Getting
going
kinda
like,
sore.
3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. Where they go, he's been in the league 6 years. Stop, everyone. He has been a starting quarterback for 5 seasons. He has hosted the AFC Championship game every single season, 5 straight seasons. He missed his first Super Bowl by a free snap penalty against Tom Brady. Game was won. Never touched the ball again. Or else he's gone to 4 Super Bowls in 5 years. And this, he goes to his third Super Bowl in 5 years after hosting 5 consecutive AFC Championship games. He's about to win his second MVP. He already has a Super Bowl MVP.
I can't keep you safe from harm forever, you know.
Why the hell
Patrick
not?
Mahomes one in his category when you add it all up, and then you include the eye test. Not close. No, not yet. I'm saying 5 years. There's the first 5 years, and Ravens can't compare 5 years. I'll tell you. There you go. There's an argument he's the best ever. At a certain point, you just say he's the best ever. The point is, no one's ever had a first 5 years like this. It's just never happened.
No, I understand, but not yet. We'll start that.
Guys come from?
I'm not sure, but they don't look pleased.
Because some people start off slower, and then they finish strong.
I'm not saying
I guess they think we're trying to steal their lunch.
That, or they...
He was that, but he certainly played hit the wall last night.
Oh, loved one.
Real quick towards your point, though.
Now they're very much, and now you're in...
I hate to use the word legacy, but like...
Oh, more fun hurting their friends.
Him getting that
Hilarious.
first down, right?
Thing on the outside.
Like things like that, when you hear guys talk about how he gritted it out and couldn't make plays with his feet when he did.
all the stuff.
A couple more?
Like over with a lot of
Yes,
credit.
but only a couple.
Mahomes got all that and Mahomes. All right. Here is Patrick Mahomes himself at the post-game presser.
That kind of magic requires more range.
Yes,
It's hard for me to comment on it. Being my goal to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, the AFC Championship is something that I'll forever remember. Winning that Lamar Hunt trophy at Arrowhead Stadium.
Already?
Big job's not finished. All you can think about is how are you going to get better. We're playing. This is a great football team that we're going up against. I mean, you've seen that the last few weeks, this whole entire season. So I know let's take the best that we got, and that's going to take us preparing this next week and the next week after that to go out there and play our best football.
But the one thing that has to happen defensively, they've got to figure out how to stop them forward, Super Bowl, and running game. The style of run, if you look at late in the game, Philadelphia probably sitting here saying to yourself, why are they running Jason Hurts quickly? To give whoever their opponent is going to be something to think about. And on top of that, I mean, Philadelphia to close the
You're
game
mine.
to show you that they have the ability to get into certain situations, make the third quarter, close the game by running Jason Hurts. Feel like five or six times late in the game here.
There's not to mention Hassan Reddick, right? Like the Eagles got a that's what I mean, guys, about we're gonna get to the Eagles and Niners. There's just a lot to get into. Meantime, Joe Burrow, it's so funny how things can swing on one play, right? Like imagine if there's no late penalty in that game and they can't kick the field goal and they lose an overtime. Or Joe Burrow gets a call here or a call there that the officials missed, and he wins. Now the whole thing is, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes can't get by Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's going to another Super Bowl. But as it is, he stopped here in the AFC Championship game. And guys, there's no guarantee he'll come back in the next couple of years. He might win the Super Bowl next year. Or the odds are you don't even get back to the AFC Championship game. There are a lot of good teams in the AFC. You could lose on any given Sunday. So by a field goal, right? By the slimmest margin on a couple of refs calls, entire legacies and the way we think about guys change on a dime.
Max, we're not going to sit up here and refs call Cincinnati Bengals.
I agree.
I mean, you cannot push a guy out of bounds. No. Right here into the fire pit, almost to the fire pit. Into the court, Patrick Mahomes started. It's not possible. He was pushed out of bounds. You can point to big things in the game. If this happened, oh my God, if that would happen, if the ref wouldn't have, with Cook hit Hurst down the middle of the field and was kicked off, but what if the referee would turn his head, look the other way, and then call it?
That's right. They were holding close fists.
I mean, you could make a case that Joe Burrow plays before Patrick Mahomes now got the flag that it was roughly passing. But I see that, I'm like, okay, it's It's fine. It's when you play in Kansas City, it's like LeBron James. You play in Boston. Sorry, you're not going to get the call.
They're going to miss City goals, too. It happens.
So sometimes guy can grab a guy, throw him on the ground.
That's not doing much.
Then when it's egregious, the referee doesn't call it. It's one of those balancing acts this year of referee.
And when it has an effect on the outcome. Jay, the reason I brought it up is just that it's not to say, oh, the best for the Mega is that these little moments in these
come
tight
on.
games. And
Okay.
the way we think about guys over years, that's what makes this stuff so compelling this time of year. These are the things that we kind of focus.
Sorry, all right.
It is whack though, man. That's not good. Scared about it. Don't hit the quarterback. You're like, come on. Like, I know Michael Parsons is weird about it. I really do. That's lame.
Yeah, I don't think I would have anything. Everybody.
Yeah.
I can't speak for his teammate, but you were right. Take wow.
You are still with me, aren't you?
Yeah, I hear you.
More or less.
You already know you made it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
So the time that you actually did, to the time that we got to the locker room, that was probably.
Looks like the coast is clear.
Who was barking at him, guys? Jump aside.
Yeah, I don't know what the person jumped
The only thing
another player.
That's right, another player saw the video. But
That's 20 minutes, man.
the thing I would say about
Saul
that
was
guy
right there. He could have just.
Most would have done.
Right? The guy who barked at him. Pratt made a bad mistake at a bad time. He probably wishes he had that back. You know, they both do, right?
Nope,
The
not
Eagles
working.
dominated the Niners. Dominated.
Are you all right, Fred?
Just about.
Keyshawn Jr., that's ESPN Radio.
Fred,
Geico
can you
asks,
hear me, Fred?
You'd love a chance to save some money on car insurance. Of course you would. Using e-choice. Switch today and see all the ways you can save. It's easy. Simply go.
By the final score, the Eagles 31, the 49ers 7. Attention, air traffic control. A flock of Eagles is heading to Arizona.
Keyshawn, J. Will and X, ESPN Radio. We're on ESPN 2 till 8 a.m. Eastern. We're on ESPN till 10 a.m. Eastern. We're on Sirius XM Channel 80, the ESPN app. We're on the lower right-hand corner of the app. Scroll down to live radio. We're right there. We're presented by Progressive Insurance.
You guys take a breath back.
That kind of bandage requires more range.
What?
Kind of guessed that already.
They are.
That's not doing much.
Are you all right, Fred?
Just about.
Has been playing for this team ever early in the season.
Yep.
That's when I was like, I look at a team at a certain point, where are you going? I start to pick winners, and I'm like, okay, this team is not a 14, 15 win team. They're going to get popped, right?
He said 15 was too much.
No, but the only reason why it was 13-3, I mean 13-14, 14-3,
Hurts got hurt.
the only reason why it was
Hurts got hurt.
Yep.
and if he wasn't hurt, they had the Commanders lost, and
This
that
isn't
might
over.
have been the
That
only
might have
one.
been it. That's what I'm saying. Jay, that's what I'm saying. They were a team that I was dominance in the regular season.
I can't keep you safe from harm forever, you know.
To the Super Bowl, at least. I will
Why the hell
remember.
not?
They're juggernauts when Hurts.
Yeah, but a lot of people, including yourself and James, question their schedule. If you look at the outside, I mean, questioning their schedule.
Well, yeah, when you're allowed to ask questions about a team in particular. We also say, but in the same breath, we also did say that they were the most complete team.
Paul was right there. He could have just.
Most would have done.
You question their schedule just like you question and watch Minnesota's realness. We put them on the same level to a degree as Minnesota.
No, stop.
No,
Stop.
yes, people did.
No, so people questioned Jalen Hurts at the beginning of the
Did they? Well, of course they were wrong.
Archie was right.
I've been on Jalen Hurts since day one. And I'm not taking it back. I'm pounding my chest.
Jalen Hurts had a chance to, when all of the dust settles, quarterback in the NFL. If you were to beat Mahomes, it would still be like, yeah, but Mahomes has done it now for 5 years, right? He has a lot of hardware already.
You don't have to fight, you know.
Good point.
That's what I'm saying.
There is no argument there. I don't care about statistics. There's no argument there. You win the Super Bowl because here's why I would say. If Josh Allen won the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow won the Super Bowl, you would anoint them. If Justin Herbert won the Super Bowl, you would sit there and say, oh, that's right. You would do that. People like you would be like, oh, I don't know. You can't say that for sure. No. I wouldn't say that if they have a chip.
Right. That's why I'm making the argument, Keith. I'm making that very argument that if Hurts goes all the way, you exception of Mahomes is still number one, isn't it?
Of course, Mahomes is number one, and Jalen Hurts is two.
Right.
At that point, but I still might take Aaron Rodgers over Jalen Hurts to the right team.
See, it's you. It's people like you keeping Hurts down.
But Max, you can rank quarterbacks without saying you might take the you know what I mean?
Of course. But I think we all safe to say, if we had a franchise that we needed to win Super Bowl in 3 years, probably look at Aaron Rodgers more. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Jalen Hurts is not.
Fred, what's the matter?
Can't fucking see straight. Nope, not working. Oh, come on.
That's just because we talked a lot about Patrick Mahomes and his brain eating the 2 weeks ago. So they still didn't feel to me, even though they blitzed him yesterday, Dylan Hurts. Or like he still had there were some missed throws. He wanted like that 2% is going to be good for him. For both these quarterbacks to get to full health so they can play at a high level.
They tail back to that. Okay, missed the deep throw to A.J. Brown. Missed it a little bit, but he likes to have that. He likes to have that one back. I'm sure if they gave him another shot at it, he would have connected. That was a nice scramble throw to Devontae Adams on the left, not Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith on the left-hand side with a nice grab. I mean, he did some stuff, falling away, falling back, being rushed as you pat late on third down, across the middle to A.J. Brown, low, but he scooped it up. He was able to get enough velocity on the football. So he did some stuff there that made you say, okay, this is the guy. When everybody doubted him coming into, like we said yesterday, there were probably certain people who didn't want to see him drafted in Philadelphia. That's just the reality of it. They gave Carson $150 million, and then they wound up selecting him in the second round as an insurance policy. But they were smart enough to realize this guy here is probably better than the guy who's getting money. Let's ruffle his feathers, get rid of his ass, insert Jalen into the lineup. Jalen becomes a full-time starter as a rookie. Because I don't count the 4 games. So it becomes a rookie year. He takes it into Tampa Bay. He loses against Tampa, which is a juggernaut of a team at that time on defense for a young quarterback. And then this year, Jay, as you mentioned, comes out. Everybody feels well, whether or not he hit anything otherwise.
Not helping.
It's his second year as a full-time starter. Now
he is also one of those. This is one of the things. Can you still win with a guy in these final 4 here? This final 4, you had 3 Superman quarterbacks and 1 regular human quarterback, right? Brock Purdy is a nice little quarterback, but he's like a regular quarterback. And you have Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts, and these guys have extra special powers that can position. And the question is, I think going into this round was, can you, because Snyder's got everything you need, right? Everything you need and a nice quarterback. I don't know. I think you can win a Super Bowl with a guy like that. A lot has to go right.
I think I need to take a break.
No one's stopping you. Shall we find somewhere?
In there at one point in the game, right? So at the end of the day, you're sitting there looking at the 49ers and you're like, wow, what happens to that defense? That defense was supposed to be so vaunted. And we talked about that. Obviously, it couldn't handle the running game and how Jalen Hurts and company played.
Looks like the coast is clear.
But man, like at the end of the day, man, this is that team, and the 49ers weren't without Brock.
Well, you got guys like Jason Kelsey, centers shouldn't get you got a center fully getting up on the linebackers, Greenlaw kind of playing brother-in-law, moving around, not going over the top, making and forcing the run back toward the flow of the traffic. Instead, he goes underneath Jason Kelsey, So therefore, he's gonna miss the block. I mean, he's gonna miss the tackle. Sanders just walks into the end zone. A lot of that, and then another one where Nick Bosa, Kelsey pushes up and then slides to the right, or Nick Bosa almost knocked his head off, and then the guy walks into the end zone there. Defensively, DeMarco Ryans and company did not, but they didn't help him either. The defense didn't help him with all those different penalties. So when you look at that, Jay, a lot of that when you talk about this defense being stopped, the last time they saw a opposing offense was in Week 8 against the Kansas City Chiefs. That was the last time. You can say they saw the Miami Dolphins. That's not the same.
Oh, so this is where that asshole grew up?
Well, he wasn't one to shrink in his studies by
Eagles'
little bit.
offensive line is really the carryover from the last Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl, won in 2016, right? And they did it with a normal quarterback, not a superhuman quarterback. It's Nick Foles, right? But that line deserves a lot of credit. Stoutland to the offensive line. Does Joe Burrow deserve any blame? Yesterday's loss.
Is it close?
Not really, no.
This week on Lights Out Loud, we talked to interior designer and Trading Spaces star Vern Yip about his journey as the son of Chinese immigrants and the decision to buck expectations and follow his passion.
You look like you're about to keel over.
Why are these walls this horrible shade of yellow?
Not good.
We also talk about meeting his husband and the decision to grow their family with the help of a surrogate.
It was important to us that she was somebody that we could see ourselves dating.
You can find Lights Out Loud with me, Nosy Anderson, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. New episodes drop every Thursday.
The Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max podcast. And a reminder, we will be joined by Rex Ryan at 7 a.m. and Dan Orlovsky at 7:30 a.m. to break down the game. Right now, it's time for the No Huddle. Let's go. Joe Burrow, guys, wasn't a great ball game yesterday. And during his post-game presser, took blame for the loss.
I think I maybe ought to run.
I think you may be right.
And you know, like that was, the tide was turning our way. I felt like we were gonna let's find a way to win this game, but like I said, didn't make the plays down the stretch.
He didn't, although he did have that run for the first down negated, right? I felt like maybe they'd get rolling, but it was still a close game. He was outplayed finally by Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter. Until now, it's been the opposite. Does he deserve any blame for the loss, Keith?
No, I don't think he deserves any blame for the loss. First of all, he had an offensive line out there that could not protect him. He got harassed for the most part every single night, but when he counted most, the bigs on the other side of the Kansas City Chiefs, Chris Jones and Frank Clark, they showed up with about 44 seconds left in the game. He gets sacked by Chris Jones. I wouldn't place blame on him at all, but here's what I do like, Jay. I like that the young man feels a certain way. I wouldn't be shocked if Cincinnati falls back into this position again next year in an AFC Championship game in Kansas City. Thank you.
You see, I like reversing this whole thing, Max. Instead of speaking from a fan perspective, speaking as a player, like I'm always going to blame myself because I had a piece of, I could have been better, right? So the way you look at this as a team, yeah, we had a play down the stretch that could have cost us the field goal, but we're never going to singly, individually call out one player. And as a quarterback of a team, the guy being who Joe Burrow is, of course you're going to have blame moving on because if you would have performed better, you guys would have won.
They gotta buttress that offensive line a little bit, I think, in this draft.
Well, they just did that.
And they gotta do it again. And guys, nowadays an offensive line like a pitching staff in baseball. You need 5 starters, and you need 3 dudes who can be versatile along the line, backing them up that are almost as good as starters. That's the NFL now.
Max, they still had a chance to win this game.
They did. That game could have gone any way. Like all the Chiefs Bengals games could go either way. The Bengals did a lot of trash talking, guys, heading into the game, and it seems like it was motivation. This is Patrick Mahomes afterward.
Yeah, I think guys were probably the most pumped up I've seen them going into the football game. A lot of trash talk over a lot of different places. I think no one picked us to win. If so, it was like 5% of people. And we think we built up enough respect to have a chance to go out and win every game. So whenever you feel like you're the underdog, when you're playing at Arrowhead Stadium, it gets guys ready to go.
I just figured it's close every time. One team is losing. You're not going to lose every game, right? But clearly they did not like to talk coming out of Cincinnati.
Well, I mean, it's very easy to say they didn't like to talk. They won. So of course they played a part because I won. In the end, I lose. I don't even mention the about the trash talk, Jay. You know how that goes. Come on, man. You really think that they sat around and thought about it before the game? No, they thought
all the way out here.
On them last, when they kick away, tick, tick, tick. That's when they start thinking about, yeah, they were talking trash to us.
Yeah, the trash talking, man, I could care less about. I mean, Cincinnati's mayor, that was hysterical. Yeah, I do want to ask you a quick question.
All mayors talk.
I know. Quick question.
Guess it's my lucky day. Hey.
Why not call a timeout? Why not try to freeze the kicker at the end of the game?
Well, because there's a couple things, right? You say, and I'm sure most people say, why not? Why take that timeout to the locker room? Here's what I would say. I would then say that if I call timeout, he gets a swipe at the kick, so he gets like an extra practice swing, so to speak. Now he misses on the practice swing because he's, just kicking it. And then he comes back and he makes it anyway. Or if I don't call the timeout, he's thinking in his mind, oh, he's going to call timeout. So he doesn't follow through fully, and then...
Can you imagine if he calls a timeout and he misses it, and that's the one he called a timeout?
I'm always calling a timeout. I'm always playing that psychological game with you. I'm always giving you extra time to think.
But remember, Jay, psychological
it's on both sides. I hear you. It's on both sides, yeah.
You thinking this is what he's getting ready to do. So now I don't even really follow the like
That's true.
And he doesn't call it.
That's an interesting interpretation, Jay. Yeah. All right. They had to play 4 quarterbacks this year. Quarterbacks yesterday. I really think Brock Purdy, when he came back, he's the 5th string. Right? He's the 5th string quarterback because he had to come back in for the 4th string guy got hurt. It's unbelievable.
I kind of guessed that already.
Shanahan talked about whether or not the offense is fuel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, always. But has to do with how hard we work and the team we build and staying healthy and take back. Find out through the offseason, find through the whole regular season. Get into this moment again and hope we get a little bit better draw. Hope we play a little bit better.
Like going into this game, right? The reason they got Trey Lance in the first place, reportedly, is Kyle Shanahan sees Josh Allen and goes, man, I can get for them guys, right? And he went in without a guy like that, hurt, but still, and I think it showed up. Are the Niners going to be in the playoffs next year? So how far do they get?
They are going to be in the playoffs next year. But here's my dream scenario for Johnny Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. There's a guy in South Florida who's 45. I have a conversation with him for free agency, and I'm going to say, hey, you get to ride off into the sunset. Essentially the same type of team that you have with left wing and you get the talent. This is what I want you to do. I want you to come play for me in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's the name. I got a stout defense. I got a running game. I got one of the most dynamic players in the National Football League. The offensive side of the ball, and Christian McCaffrey. I got an upgrade on it to the receiver position. And by the way, we got one of the top tight ends in Kittle. All I need you to do is teach Brock Purdy and Trey Lance how to play football. All I need you for is a year. I just need you for a year. You got the
this is bad.
So you know you're going to be protected.
Fuck.
Here's the caveat. You were a little boy. Remember that jersey that you wore in Joe Montana? This could be your dream scenario. We can do whatever you want us to do, but we need you in the worst place.
It makes a lot of sense.
I mean, yeah, talking to Tom Brady being in San Francisco does make a lot of sense. First off, personally for him, I wonder that separation from the family, right? It seems like an East Coast supportive thing for him, the kids. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, Max. And then also, Kyle Shanahan does like to run a ton of these shows, right? You can change around the offense, but the last time I saw Tom Brady cannot move in the pocket. So I hear it's a 1-year plan. That's makes sense. I hear that.
Matt Ryan was a smaller Sub-Zero. I'd rather have Tom Brady. Derek Carr's elite. Yeah, but Derek Carr got like 5-6 years. So now what happens? Well, what happens is if you go after Carr, now what are you going to do with the other quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Trey Lance? That's not a 1-year situation. Thomas Brady is a 1-year situation. I understand what you're saying, Jay, about being away from his kids, things of that nature. South Florida's out of the question to make the He can be home, close to his mom and dad and whoever else in his family in the Bay Area in San Mateo, California. But You mentioned distance. Man, that's what you got all that damn money for. It's called travel. It's called that G650 you got, Jay. Loan that to him.
It's a lot of expenses.
Loan that to him.
He's heading to a championship game.
Yeah.
You know, don't forget.
Nigga say he got a lot of expenses. Nigga, he got a lot of money.
Chance to lose the Super Bowl, although I fear that they are favored slightly now. I think that's going to grow. The Eagles are very, very good. So how insufferable are our producers, Pat and Alan, going to be for the next 2 weeks, both Philly guys?
Pat was just angry throughout the whole game yesterday while they were blitzing. I mean, I was like, how are you sending angry texts on the text chain while you guys are up 25 points? I don't understand.
Just ready for the disrespect to end after a 2-score win in the Super Bowl. Could be. I mean, the Eagles, I don't know about that. I don't know, the Eagles are yeah, but since like preseason,
They're not getting ready to run shots.
Patrick Mahomes, they got a better offensive line, they got a better defensive line, they got a lot.
Yeah, but
You are still with me, aren't you?
More or
This is why
less.
you get angry texts from giving the Devontae
Why? Because
Smith
they're not going to win by 2
I didn't
touchdowns.
say they wasn't going to win. I said by 2 touchdowns. I said by 2 touchdowns. And that's part of the team. I'm rolling with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Well, that's the damn problem with you Eagle fans. Y'all get to the Super Bowl, now all of a sudden, you're going to win by 2 damn touchdowns. Just be glad you did.
Guys, Devontae Smith, is that a catch, yes or no?
What? What they call?
Exactly.
I mean, but by the way, we're back. That's
They're calling Hill.
That's why you're Smith. You're like,
Another
let's
Partha.
run a hurry up.
A common.
Like, hurry up, let's go. Because he knew what time it was, right?
It would have been one of the greatest catches of all time. That was a clean catch.
What you mean, one of? You think they not going to show that in B-roll on Fox during the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Guess
but it just
All right.
wasn't a catch. But anyway,
It was a catch. They called it. They scored on the next couple plays.
you watch it again.
Oh, God.
The Super Bowl is all set. Which storyline should we be paying attention to the next 2 weeks? We got you covered. Keyshawn, J. Will the Max, ESPN Radio.
Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, the podcast. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Patrick Mahomes. He's going to his 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years.
You might not want to stick around.
Consecutive AFC Championship games.
Yeah,
He's about to
no
win his
shit.
2nd MVP. He already has a Super Bowl MVP. Through the first 5 seasons as a starter, Patrick Mahomes, it's not close. Greatest quarterback ever lived. It's not close. There's no one in his category when you add it all up. And if Mahomes wins his 2nd Super Bowl, now he's entering Tom Brady level team accomplishment on this defense his career, but his personal accomplishment way beyond what Brady did.
Are you all right, Fred?
I'm not saying Keyshawn James
just about.
said about your best insurance here on ESPN Radio. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time, and I understand where you're like, well, we shouldn't even, but like you can take a guy like Tim Lindsay, the Giants, Vince back in the next 1 year. He's 4 years he's out there.
Kind of match that requires more range.
But then if
Kinda
they
guessed
turn it
that
out
already.
way, that's okay. But the first 5 years
Yeah, I mean,
of
if you want
Patrick
to,
that's 5 years.
I just,
It's interesting to me.
you know how I am.
Of course.
Let's wait to see the cake bake. Man, you always want to pull the cake out the oven before it's done.
I'm just observing it as it's happening.
Let it bake. Turn on the light and look at it. You know?
Getting kind of sore.
And remember, it's
Quick breather.
only not 80% because of a TV snap penalty. They had won that game against Tom Brady. I mean, it's unreal what he's done. So here are the storylines, guys. I mentioned Patrick Mahomes and the historically great run he's on. His trajectory at the moment means that he has a chance to be the greatest player who ever lived. He has a chance. It's 5 years into a guy's career usually. You can't say that, but you can still say that about Mahomes. The Eagles are 2-point favorites. The game opened as a pick'em. I think that's going to widen for the Eagles. They are a dominant team. Andy Reid, guys. The Andy Reid Bowl.
But I wonder why would it be a pick'em if Kansas City is kind of right as it stands
about
right
time,
now.
you know.
As like they say, they had to play the game tomorrow. Kansas City's banged up, and Philadelphia's healthy. So why would it be a pick'em, or why would Kansas City even be favored? I don't understand. Is it just because people like the experience of Patrick Mahomes and the inexperience of Jalen Hurts?
Well, really, the bookie, the people who make the book, who make the line, are just trying to get equal action on each side of the line, so they're guessing at that point. When they start, they're like, we think that this line will produce equal action on both sides. And when bets start coming in on one side, it starts to move the line. So they were, I agree with Yuki in the analysis that the odds makers here were off when they opened it as a pick-up. They should have opened it. Honestly, I feel, guys,
Interesting choice of task.
2.5 points for Philly.
Yeah, I think it's at 2 right now. It's at 2 right now. Philly's favored by 2.
I think it's going to win.
Oh, they are favored.
As of right now, yeah, it's going to fluctuate.
Fluctuate to what?
Well, I mean, fluctuate to what bettors want to bet on, pretty much. Where the masses will go.
I think if they'd opened it 2.5, they got
seemed like
action.
what y'all call smart money. Yeah, it seems like the smart money would be the Philadelphia spread.
Yeah.
Based on the injuries and him having dude, he was out there playing with Sky Moore. Like, come on. Sky Moore's a nice little player on the special team side of the return game. It's the gadget plays, but he's not a receiver.
Hey, guys, Jay, this is the first time 2 African-American quarterbacks are facing each other. Ever. In the Super Bowl. Like, that's a big deal. That's like another storyline to pay attention to, right?
That's well, I mean, if you want to pay attention to two black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl, yeah, it's a good storyline, but I'm not paying attention to it.
I'll tell you what, it's an indication of what's been like. Think of why hasn't that happened for so many years? They finally found 2 black guys. But no, it's because
playing the position like
yes,
that.
it indicates that.
But I'm not. It's not really to me. Max is 2 black quarterbacks, and I'm gonna watch it, and I'm rooting for either one of them because I come out on top regardless of who wins, because they are black. So yes, that is correct. But I'm not paying attention.
I get it. It's just a demarcation,
right,
Jay.
Yeah, I hear you, Max, on that, but it's like, I never thought like a black quarterback could have been strong.
But we've had them in the Super Bowl. We never had 2, just like we had Dungy, we had Lovie Smith as the 2 first black head coaches to appear in the Super Bowl against one another. Somebody's got to win.
Jay, the lead is 75%. And we're in Super Bowl 57.
What the hell is
you know
this?
How many times 2 white quarterbacks?
I'm not entirely sure. Careful now.
We've been fighting this battle for a long time, Max. A long
You gotta stop and acknowledge.
No, I'm not saying.
I agree. I'm gonna go say, okay, like I also feel though, Max, sometimes like being black, like to bring that up in the forefront, like this is pretty interesting action, right? So I get you bringing it up, but I guess you and I just sit back and see him for a while.
That kind of magic requires more range.
Day right after.
Kind of guessed that already.
Yeah, so for me, Max,
Do not waste any energy, I'm warning you.
Not something I try to make a habit of.
I come out either way. Whether Pat wins or whether Jalen Hurts wins, I'm good as a black man. But that's not my focus in the Super Bowl. Guess why? Because they in it. They're there. They made it. So it's not my focus.
It's also the Andy Reid Bowl. It's Andy Reid's old team versus Andy Reid's new team.
And there's 3 guys.
That's it. Let me in.
Drafted, when he left, they're still there 10 years ago. So he gets a chance to see 3 of those guys. I know Kelsey's one. I feel like Johnson may be the other. And then there's somebody else, I can't think of his name. You said that just now. It popped in my head. There's 3 guys that Andy Reid drafted. They're still part of the team.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to bring up a point, Max, before we get into times. Just keep us making a point about, and granted, it's where the market is, but
oh shit.
Patrick Mahomes, right? Just think about how much Patrick Mahomes has overcome.
Oh, come
right?
on.
Tyreek Hill, his team is still here in the championship game. When we make mention of things like Daniel Jones, what do we always say? Who is he throwing the ball to? Who is Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to? This continues.
It's unreal. Spreading around. That's a really easy stat. 6 different receivers. He was like 9 or whatever. But and he spreads it around. No Tyreek Hill. Every other. I understand. Offensive tight end is the primary pass catcher. Whenever you take the top wide out away from it looks different. Whenever you give him a top one, it looks different. Mahomes is the only one. Maybe better.
Gave him some of that Tyreek Hill effect. I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill. Stuff like that. Okay, you got some silver in here.
Bro.
Why? Because they knocked out the other two.
Can you hear me, Frank?
Yeah, like, how can you give Philly any credit at all? Like, hey, yeah, they're down to, let's see, Christian McCaffrey at quarterback.
It's not like they don't have a good blindside protector there in Trent.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, though, Rex. You did it right there. They knocked out both quarterbacks. In the third quarterback, they knocked him out, too.
But wait, what happens to how good the 49ers defense was?
So that defense, I mean, look, I think they're just not
Kind of guessed that already.
they give up 30 points. You look at it like a blowout. But it was
Oh.
30 points.
Not helping.
But, you know, obviously we run the ball effectively against that Niner defense, but Jason McCoy played offense, and they still put up 30 points. So, like, it's amazing. But I think this defense, there's going to be some people are going to say,
Okay.
is this a historic defense?
Oh, is this an historic team? Because you mentioned
Yep.
he played horrible by his standards, obviously, right? But
Holy shit.
with him in the game, he had one loss all year. And
just
to me,
about.
beginning of the preseason, you saw what they did in the offseason. Well, that's the most consistent team in the NFL.
Okay.
And if anything, they've outkicked their coverage here, right? So
Yep.
is this going to go down as they win in the Super Bowl by one of the greatest teams?
I still don't
Well, this is bad.
Now look, I always say this about like a historic defense because I've coached historic defenses. All right, and I know this defense is being compared to the by pairs, by numbers, right? Look at those sacks right there. Those defenses were historic. So are we gonna? And I know they played an extra game or whatever they used to play an extra game, but they're a historic pass rushers, and there's no way you can't argue that fact. They are getting to that pass. Like those 80-some Bears right there. That game, I was on the sideline literally, watching this game, and I'm thinking, dang, it's like that. It's like they're knocking quarterbacks out. They're doing whatever. They're physical. They can man you up on the outside. They've done a great job. I think they can Slay, those great reads, pick up some Maddox in the slot. They've got 3 different names playing safety for them. Like, dude, this is over. No, they are.
Oh my goodness.
No. I think about that. I've learned to understand the game. It takes me back to see those teams on the defensive side of the ball. I think about your teams in Baltimore. Those are historic defenses. I think about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think about Pittsburgh defense. Those are historic defenses. This one, in this day and age, is a really good defense. It just is. You talk about historic defense. You look at the point differential. You look at who scored points. Is it game 6 to 9? Is it 12 to 3? To me, that's real defense. Or it's scoreboard now. Like, I look at
Well, this is bad.
Fuck.
I'm fine.
And they had, like, you know, they're
Oh, exactly. And I just went out and stirred up a bit about that because I don't think they're not a historic team.
Come
When I
on.
go back and look at the Ravens, they gave up playoffs 110 points. You know what I'm saying? 110 points a game. So,
Yep.
but I heard that they
That's
were
it.
Put yourself together.
No.
Oh wow.
That, to me, going forward, I think it actually hit this quarterback that's on one leg. Like, to me, was that not the most disappointing thing this whole week? Was that Cincinnati? I'm like, oh, they're going to go after Patrick Mahomes.
But Cincy, that's what Cincy needs, though, Rex, is they need a serious edge rusher. They don't really have a serious edge rusher
at the level that we're talking about when we talk about championship football for Cincinnati. You know, and that was the reason that they couldn't get to Patrick Mahomes and get him on the ground at the level that they needed to. The sack that they fell into, that was a falling sack because he was trying to move around and slide through, and they gave a -1 yard sack.
But off that, Rex, what do you think about the officiating, though, Rex? Because, you know, a lot of people are going to obviously focus on Patrick Mahomes in that last play that Field Goal range. But literally a couple of plays before that, it looked like there was a roughing the passer on Joe Burrow that wasn't called.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the officiating overall was disappointing in both games, quite honestly. I will say this, everybody's going to focus on, they got the, you know, in the Chiefs game, they got the last one right. There's no question about it. The guy hits him out of bounds, you know, and they got that play right. But if I'm Zach Taylor and I'm on the sideline, I'm sitting back going, dude, what the, how many third and eights do I have to stop? You know, and it just seemed like over and over again, the intentional grounding call, the hitting back on the punt return. I'm literally taking it so personal. Like, is there a bias against me, against my football team? I've been on the sideline and felt like that. Now, look, it's not. The NFL does a phenomenal job with that. There's not that bias. But I'm telling you right now, he's feeling like there was, because I've been there.
Rex, Patrick Mahomes, in 5 years as a starter, is now going to his hosted 5 AFC championships. Right. Only a pre-snap penalty against Tom Brady stopped him from going to his 4th Super Bowl, but he's going to his 3rd Super Bowl. He's got an MVP, he's got to win another one, he's got a Super Bowl MVP. He's put up all the numbers along the way. The eyeball test says we've never seen this before. Whenever you compare an athlete to Michael Jordan, slow down. But in football at quarterback, this is the closest we've seen. I'm claiming this is the greatest first 5 seasons in the history of the quarterback position. What do you say to that?
No, you can't argue. Like, to me, this is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. The most talented. Like,
could be something cool inside.
Shall we test your instincts?
You know, look, I'm a huge Josh Allen guy because I love the way he runs and is better. But if you're sitting back saying, from a talent standpoint, arm talent, mobility, brains, all this type of stuff, leadership, dude's got everything. He's got everything. So to me, and I've been around, I've seen them all. This is the most talented guy I've ever seen.
Yeah, he was doing some stuff in that game.
Adrenaline is pumping.
Thrill seeker, eh?
You know, flipping the ball just on one leg. And the fact that he was out there with young receivers, and when you think about the veteran guys that was in and out of the lineup, you talk about Sky Moore, for instance, he's a special teams guy that can, in a return game, as he continues to grow and play the receiving position, there's no question that they can do a lot of dynamic things with him. Okay, Tony got hurt in the game, so now all of a sudden you insert a guy into the lineup like Sky Moore. But then you also got MVS that showed up big.
Hey, come at me. Or are you scared?
Let's show them a thing or
pass on the corner out there
3
from the safety, then he hits him on the touchdown late in the game right there. When you look at Patrick Mahomes, you say, what is he really dealing with at the receiver position? There's a lot of guys that have big-time receivers, like Higgins and Tyler Boyd, along with Jamar Chase. And yes, Joe Burrow got magic. But if you gave those 3 receivers to
I guessed that already.
what would he look like? What would he look like?
You just give the Super Bowl every year. I mean, because quite honestly, that's a truth.
Splits
There's
here.
one receiver on that team that you would fear, so to speak, and that's Travis Kelce. The rest of them, forget about it. Like, these are guys off the scrap heap. Like, late draft picks, all that type of stuff.
Then I suppose we turn.
Ooh.
And why Andy Reid's a great coach and makes it work, but this kid is so special, it's unreal.
Yeah. What is that many pieces, nigga? It's very simple. I'm gonna watch this shit probably 2 times.
Nice.
Some of the young receivers along with Patrick Mahomes. All of a sudden, when you talk about guys like Tyreek Hill was a young receiver with Patrick Mahomes. He was not a veteran guy when they got him. He was, in fact, a kick return guy that eventually morphed into a superstar wide receiver over time with Patrick Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, and Andy Reid. So when you start to look again, you start to look at guys like
Yeah, what the
NBA.
fuck?
At some point in time, they get caught up and pushed into those roles and become something special. They got 2 weeks to get together. Because if they can get help by trying to get to the Super Bowl, it's going to be a totally different game than what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I mean, quite honestly, this one's going to be, an all-time game, man. And here's the thing, matchup too.
Just lying there.
If you're going to do it,
The
do
number
it
one
quickly.
offensive line in the league in pass block.
Someone doesn't look so happy.
So whose fault is that exactly?
They're going to get that number one pass rush. So,
Let me ask.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. Do you think, Brett, cool. Andy Reid is going to leave Travis Kelce, whoever out there by himself, trying to find
hell no. Hey, T, we always said,
Yep.
you have to give up a sack, block with the tight end, and just start again.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Of course you would. When it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners and renters coverage.
Put yourself together.
What the fuck?
24-hour roadside assistance and more. And Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you can save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today. Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Of course,
Someone doesn't look so happy.
Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage.
Kind of magic requires more range.
Available 24-hour
Kinda
roadside
guessed that already.
assistance and more. With Geico, it's an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you can save. It's easy.
Are you all right, Fred?
Geico.com or contact your local
Just
agent
about.
today.
Bro, why ain't I automatically healing myself? Fuck.
What did Key see this weekend? Doesn't look good. I can tell you that. It's time for Key's observation.
Yeah, bro.
Key, what you got? Well, I got a couple here. I got a couple nice observations
Look
on
at him.
yesterday's game.
Lying there.
Let's
If you're
start
going to
kicking
do
off.
it, do it quickly.
Number one.
Someone doesn't look so happy.
Whose fault is that?
His ankle, y'all walked away last week talking about, oh my God. And the reports were out and people were trying to convince me that he had a real ankle problem. The first thing I said is the fact that he played in the second half, he'll be fine come this AFC Championship game. Look at it in the second half of last week, there's no way he's going to miss the game. Yes, at times, just like I said, he can get that sharp pain and come.
That kind of magic requires more range.
I guessed that already.
But he also playing it up a little bit. Camera action. All grimace in there. But in the end, he still won. It didn't matter. He really helped you so to be tested. Number two, MVS. He showed up like Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Be careful.
6 catches, 160 yards and a touchdown, despite not being the main target for Kelce. He did his job. He erased that victory entire for the Kansas City Chiefs fans in this particular AFC Championship game. They didn't need Tyreek Hill. A lot of people thought the season that this was going to be a big problem for him.
Just
It
about.
wasn't in the championship game. Number 3. In the end, the Cincinnati Bengals did let Joe Burrow down because the protection broke down. Protection broke down late in the game. All game long he was harassed. But when you think about 44 seconds left, and Chris Jones hitting you. 5 sacks, 2 by Chris Jones, 3 tackles for losses by Chris Jones.
Okay.
This was a problem all night long.
Just wait until you're ready.
They flushed him out of the pocket.
I thought I
and made
overdid it.
things very, very difficult for the passing game. Number 4. Talk about the Philadelphia Eagles so much of that run defense.
Might want to try and avoid
the defense in general. The 49ers gave up the
Been
guts
hit for a little
to the
while.
Philadelphia Eagles in terms of the running game.
might I?
They did what they wanted to do.
Fred,
They had their
are
way.
you still with me,
They
Fred?
controlled the line of scrimmage. Nick Bosa was nowhere to be found at all for most part of the game. When you think about Jason Kelce getting up on the second wave of defender, Greenlaw not wanting to take him on and flush things back to the inside. This is major for Philadelphia if they plan on beating Kansas City in the Super Bowl. They've got to figure out how to negate that running game.
Number 5.
And number 5, if you don't have an answer for Hassan Reddick, you're going to lose. I do believe, though, here's the enemy, along with the offensive line coach, along with Andy Reid, will put a game plan together where you won't have
Seems this is the end of the road.
singly matched up on a guy
Off we go.
with 17, 18 sacks. You got to be a damn fool to put
Ooh.
over there.
Oh shit, very hard.
In the defensive player conversation, Jay, for whatever reason, Kyle Shanahan felt like he didn't need that. He lost 2 quarterbacks because of it. Brock Purdy, who started the game, and then Johnson, who replaced him. There you go. Those are my 5 observations.
5, yeah. 5. By the way,
5.
you say Chris Jones?
5.
Excuse me? You say Chris Jones? Like, where does he rank in just the best players in that game?
He was in the top 5. I mean, it's in the game.
Yeah.
He was top 5. Top 5 in the game.
He had
I mean, it's clearly Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, MVS for me. I mean, Joe Burrow, he could down the stretch deliver. Frank Clark was there at times.
Who fuck with me?
Who else popped up for me?
Check this out.
T. Higgins
Perhaps it was worth coming here after all.
He had a great catch. He made a great catch. Easy.
So I had a quick observation I want to add on the keys. It's just, we talk, Rex Ryan talks a lot about historically where the Eagles could wind up, obviously with the offense, but also with the defense. 17
Nice.
players.
Always good in a catch.
Do try not to waste it.
Alternative. Like that's crazy. And then you think about Jalen Hurts, 19-2 overall to start.
Well, they won't be going to the Pro Bowl. No,
obviously, yeah.
No, I'm saying.
You say about the talent on this team, and then Jalen Hurts obviously, when healthy, 19-2 is
I saw that.
insane. That's insane.
Yeah, I tried to tell.
We put a lot of yeast on obviously Patrick Mahomes. He deserves it. Joe Burrow, and he deserves it. We put a lot of yeast on Brock Purdy this last week leading up to this game. He deserved it. And I said before, I was like, man, it feels like Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are kind of just sliding under the radar. Nobody's talking about him, and now it's starting to talk. I know we did, but I'm just talking about how the national media saw the story.
Not only is that records a starter, which is absurd, but it looks so much different, and the results are much different when he's not playing. So it's one thing to say, yes, of course, the team is so strong, which it is. They probably have the best roster.
But I don't want it to team. But I don't want it. It's so funny. My brain freezes up because I just had this conversation with Yates on our ride over. We were going over scenarios in our heads about what people will say about Jalen Hurts.
That's why I'm saying.
But his team is good. But his team.
That's what I'm saying. It is true that they have the strong.
Dead end.
Then I suppose we turn back.
That appear to be the same, and more than that, they look much different. So if you have one of the really most dominant regular season teams of all time, in fact, through these playoffs, they've been one of the most dominant teams you've ever seen in the Super Bowl. They have been. But without Hurts, they look average. And with Hurts, they look like, so what does that mean?
It means a lot because I can look at a lot of quarterbacks that have good teams in the regular season when they fall out of, when they take a back seat and they don't play, and all of a sudden these teams look different. I mean, you can point to a lot of starting quarterbacks because that's what happens when you talk about top tier quarterbacks. That's how you gauge it. When you talk about what if Buffalo didn't have Josh Allen for 2, 3, 4 games, what would they look like? Okay, then you insert him in the lineup, it's completely different. When you look at Justin Herbert, he hadn't won anything, but when you take him out of Los Angeles to the Chargers, they're not going to look the same. They're just not. When you insert him into the lineup, they look totally different. When you are at a certain level, that is, no matter how great the team is, that quarterback night. And look at the Miami Dolphins. When you took Tua out, they look like a different team.
But Max,
they just do.
And Keith's right. I know that's not the topic of the conversation today. We're talking about the elite level quarterbacks and how they're able to carry the team. It just.
There's something got put over there.
This is not going to be easy.
I got this.
Here's your backup. The team doesn't drop off. And those are. It just shows you like the levels to it, right?
Nope, not working. Let me at it.
Oh, man, I can't help it. Every time I hear that, I think about that.
Yep.
However,
we got to do it.
Flash.
we analyze the whole thing.
Why we got to say benefits from certain. We don't say that about everybody.
That's not doing much.
We talk about Joe Burrow and all the weapons.
No, but we don't sit there and say, we say Joe Burrow has them playing a certain way, and it's because of Joe Burrow.
He also not only the best receiver in the game, in my opinion, certainly one of them, but also his college guy. He only has teammates point of number 3 receiver. We talk to them, they're local. I think well on them.
I'll keep you safe forever, you know.
And it brings the team from they're okay. That's what he's dominant. Track record behind second best quarterback in the game.
I don't know, but I know one thing.
He just surpasses Joe Burrow like that with facts.
Well,
he just surpasses Joe Burrow.
I would say, I would say that. No, you're talking about facts. I would say my personal favorite.
No, I'm asking you because it was a thought, but it didn't seem like it was your thought.
If Jalen Hurts wins,
This should do the trick.
I have him behind depending on how he looks, of course, as you know. I have him behind Mahomes and then Burrow after him. That would be my point. If he wins, what if he doesn't win?
Come on.
Then I'd probably still put Burrow over him. Burrow's had 2 years of playoff runs. And behind an offensive line that didn't protect him in the last game he played in this season, and also throughout the playoffs.
Jalen Hurts made playoff runs,
but not like that.
But it's interesting, right? So
not like
Joe
that.
Burrow.
How many?
Max, Joe Burrow is out because he matched up against the greatest quarterback you've ever seen. You can call him Mahomes the greatest quarterback you've ever seen. He's done 5 years. That's my point.
Deshaun James next.
About his journey as the son of Chinese immigrants and the decision to buck expectations and follow his passion.
At his lab, the first question on my brain was, why are these walls this horrible shade of yellow?
We also talk about meeting his husband and the decision to grow their family with the help of a surrogate.
It was important to us that she was somebody that we could see ourselves dating.
You can find Life Out Loud with me, Elsie Granderson, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. New episodes drop every Thursday.
The Keyshawn J. Willer Facts Podcast.
Thought I...
Brock Purdy has been taken out of the game. Josh Johnson, the veteran, is in to play quarterback.
Hurts the get under center. He sneaks, he pushes, and he is touchdown, Jalen Hurts. By the final score, the Eagles 31, the 49ers 7. Attention, air traffic control. A flock of Eagles is heading to Arizona.
WIP and KNDR sound you just heard. Dan Orlovsky, ESPN football analyst, former NFL quarterback, 12-year veteran. You end up going to the Eagles game, Danny? Paid $300 for parking?
We went to the Eagles game, family, tailgated. We were with the people. It was awesome. No, I'll never pay that much for parking. I figure out a way. I paid more than I wanted to. Table. But we were there. We had a great time. My sons who are 11 saw and heard things that they've never seen or my daughter. So
Earmuffs.
Yeah, it was fun, man. There was a San Francisco 49ers fan sitting in the section we were in. He was loud all game, and he was funny. Sometimes borderline. Philly fans let him know. By the end of the game, my sons were like chanting, na 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 na, with everybody pointing scoreboards. So it was a really fun day. That stadium goes upside down. Yeah. It was a fun time.
What was the best part of the game for you though?
Honestly, the best part of the game is when the stadium sings after they score and they do their fight good song. Everybody does it. Watching my kids do it. That was the best part of the game. As far as football wise, I think my son got flashed by like a 20-year-old as well. For the first time. That was
welcome to the game, son.
That's what I told us. Welcome to life, Jim. I think like the best part of the game.
I think it said welcome to life.
Jalen Hurts played bad.
Nigga said welcome to life.
Ways do you want us to be able to beat you against a great defense in San Francisco? And I remember turning to my wife. It was the first run of the game. I think it goes for like 6 yards. And the interior of the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line absolutely mauled and just changed the line of scrimmage, like 4 yards downfield. San Francisco's D-line, I looked at my wife and said, so you watched an offensive line interior-wise just completely dominate.
But then you said he played poorly, but Jalen played poorly.
How far now?
Underperforms without him to the point where he must be doing something when he's playing. Well,
real quick, to answer that question, you play poorly when it comes to, I guess, traditional expectations.
There you go.
Football. There you go. You see his impact in the run game. I would tell you that
I swear I'm way fitter than I was back in New York.
That'll be the magic of work.
And not all the non-stop shit we've been doing? Way to piss on my dreams.
When it comes to their run game, so that's 100% fair.
What I was going to say, Dan, is see, the way that I look at it, he didn't play poorly like that. He played down to the standards that he set for himself as well as us. That's the way I looked at it. I'm like, he didn't play up to